Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday, the 19th of February, and we are on the DAX. So I've just been triggered into a long position after this 12:30 candle right here. So as always with the live trade, I'm going to talk you through the analysis, talk you through any trade management. We'll look at how the trade develops, whether it wins, whether it loses. I'll try and talk you through the steps that I'm taking, and hopefully some of the information, some of the things I go over is useful to you. Okay, so 12:30 candle right here. I actually almost missed the entry. Market collapsed down. We had a bounce right here. We've had another pullback, putting in potentially a second base, which is setting up into a bit of a double bottom with a fairly decent room up above for potential profit targets. Now, when I was looking for this setup down here, what I was paying attention to was all of this sort of choppy price action sitting to the left. Now, what I wanted to see was, first of all, the market giving me the evidence on this first pullback that potentially there's the strength to press back up above this previous swing point right here. And that's exactly what we've seen. We've seen the market pressing up, nice green candles, bullish candles the whole way up. The close of this candle is sitting right into the swing. So next potential area of resistance is all the way up into this zone up above. So what it's doing is it's giving me potential room for the entry. I've already came in today looking at this zone as a potential key level of support. And what I'll do is, if this trade starts to move up and I can get my stop to break even, I'll then jump onto the higher time frames. And I will sort of run you through why I'm looking at this zone as so key. But basically, it's so key because if DAX starts to break down below this zone now, it's going to start to open up more bearish. It's going to basically open up a move down into at least this 11,233 area underneath, but potentially all the way down toward this 11,189 zone. So it's a good potential level for bulls to be looking to hold onto the market. So we came down, we got the exact sort of movement I was looking for on the first leg. We then pulled back. We started to hold at the S1 level. We got a nice strong candle at 12:30. Yeah, more than happy to get in above the high. Now, also, one of the things I'm looking at with trades are the negatives, the things that are sort of going against the trade. So what I'm going to do is run through those on DAX as well. And then I'll sort of talk to you about trading week so far and also the February so far that I've been having. Okay, so negatives on this one. Well, market's made a pretty strong bearish movement, right, for the day. So potentially, I think my battery is running out on my mouse. Let me try and get this up. So relatively strong bearish movement on this market so far. So potentially I'm fighting against the intraday trend. Now, on top of that, we have also got, what I'm actually going to do is pause this video and change the battery in my mouse because it stopped working properly. Okay, so crisis averted. It wasn't actually the battery. It was one of my dog's hairs getting in the way of the sensor. Okay, so strong bearish movement. Potentially the market's in some sort of a bearish trend for the day. Also, center point right here as potential resistance. You can already see the market's pressed up and hit a little bit of rejection as it's tested into here. Those are the sort of negatives against the trade. And then what I'm doing is I'm sort of weighing up the positives against the negatives. I'm trying to figure out if the trade is worthwhile taking. And for me, down at this key zone, with the double bottom price action that it's set up with the potentially nice clean run up above into this pivot point zone, there's enough going for the trade to get into it. So I'm looking for the move up into this zone up above at a minimum and get my stop to break even around about 8 to 9 points if we can see it, and then I'm going to look to hopefully let the trade run. Hopefully we see a stronger bullish retracement. Now, with trading, well, with trading this week, it was a holiday in the US yesterday, so markets were so quiet. There was nothing really happening. I always go over this in the videos, but it's so important as a trader to understand that when you come to the desk every day, it's not guaranteed that you're going to be trading. You're only going to be trading if the markets give you exactly what you look for. And it's really easy to say and it's really easy to listen to and understand. But then when it comes time to implement that, it's incredibly difficult. People find it so difficult. I did at the start as well, because you'd be sitting there and you'd be thinking, I should really be doing something constructive with my day. I should really be working hard if I want to achieve something. And with trading, that's often the worst thing that you can do. If you try and work hard at trading, what it usually means is you're going to start over trading. And if you're over trading, most likely you are going to be losing money, which is the polar opposite of what we want to do as traders. So that's how it was yesterday for me. And then February so far has been a relatively quiet month in comparison to January, especially. January was really good, really busy. And then coming into February, it just kind of dipped down a little bit, slowed down a little bit. And all I've been doing is sort of grinding out on the markets, waiting for the setups. Sometimes there's entire days where I'm not really doing anything. But when that happens, through experience, really, you start to learn that you go through these phases, and then usually what happens is you get a really busy period that comes for sort of 1 or 2 weeks. And it's all about waiting for those periods to turn up and not screwing up in the meantime, basically. Sort of maintaining your account, maintaining your discipline, and waiting for those good trading days when you can start to once again build your account. And sometimes, you can get 5, 6, 7, 8 days where it's just good trade after good trade after good trade. So for today, nothing else to really go over. I am looking for the market to press up, hopefully into that zone up above at a minimum. As I've mentioned, I would then look to get my stop to break even around about sort of 8 to 9 points. I don't want to let it move too much without my stop at break even after. Strong bearish movement on the market today. We've also tested that fairly key resistance up into these levels. So yeah, I want to be a little bit cautious. But what I'm going to do is I'll pause the video, as always, looking for the market to make that movement up. If it does, I'll turn the video back on. If it starts to press against me, I will also turn the video back on. Okay, so we've had a nice spike up on this market. All I'm going to do is bring my stop to break even. So the trade is now risk-free. The only downside with bringing your stop to break even is sometimes the market drops back down, takes you out at the break-even level before you then see the move coming into the market that you're looking for. But through experience, with the trades that I take over time, I found that there's a couple of different levels where if I get my stop to break even at those points, it ends up saving me money over the long term. So the market is coming back toward the entry level. If it does take me out, it's at zero basically. So there's no risk on the trade anymore. I'm just watching it to see if we get taken out. Very close. So yeah, so what I found over time is that there's certain levels where if I get my stop to break even, it's then more likely that if it comes back to the break even level, it's going to head down into a loss rather than then reverse and hit back at my profit target. So that's why I get my stop to break even. It's through experience, it's through what the market has told me over the years, rather than just doing something randomly. So if the market does come down, it's quite close to the stop. I will get taken out at break even. If not, I'm looking for it to press up into this zone up above at a minimum, where I will then look to potentially lock in some profits, and with it being the DAX, see if we can get some profits running. Okay, so the market has popped back down, taking me out of that trade at the break-even level. Didn't get the movement up I was looking for before I was starting to consider profit targets, which was up into this zone up above. So with that one, all you do is you go back to watching the market. Didn't used to post so many of the break-even videos, but it's worthwhile posting because it's a very regular occurrence as a trader. It's not always getting into trades and just winning. A lot of the process of being a trader is frustration. A lot of it is break-even trades, losses. So it's worthwhile seeing that so that you know if you're going through that kind of phase, that you are not just doing it alone. That's what happens to all of us. Sometimes when you see just winning videos all the time, you start to almost believe in your head that is how you should be trading. Okay, so very important level on the DAX at present. You can see it testing once, pressing up, testing a second time, and we're kind of holding into this zone. You can see the spike up from the 14th of February. Key support, if we start breaking down below this level, then it is potentially opening up the stronger movements down into the key levels of structure down here, which are all the way back down at 11,200. So that's why it's so important. That's why I was looking at it for potential bullish bounces, but also for potential bearish breaks, which I will now. Okay guys, we are now on Wednesday. I just want to add to the end of this video before I post it up. So finally got into a good trade on the FTSE. Short position right here. What I'm going to do, we're at £700 of profit. I'm going to close out 50%, lock that in, and then what I'm going to do is actually look to run the remainder and see if we continue to get this strong bearish move down. But the most important thing with the video is patience. It's been a frustrating week, and to be honest, February itself has been pretty choppy. You know, having the break-even trades, having the win and the loss, and you're having to sort of claw yourself along, building up the profits. It all comes down to just waiting for the good setups, the ones that turn into your trades that hit your profit target, and then in the meantime, you just have to be frustrated. That is the life of a trader, unfortunately. So, just wanted to quickly add to the video. And yeah, I hope you're all having a good trading week. As always, I hope this was helpful. I'm James Orr, and thank you.